And we'll move into what you've been playing. Of course, we kind of cut it out for people out there because it's we like to kind of get into it a little bit. Carlos Macias, Dalan Kirkwood again, Deo Blas, and Luis Mendez. Luis.
Hey, don't just take away from it. You are the master of the miniature glass element.
We're not at the end. Well,
I don't care.
I don't know. We're cutting away.
I'm gonna buy you one so you can put it in the background on the little couch you got back.
Look, we'll get right into it. First up is Modern Warfare 3. Me and Luis have been playing it. Luis, let's get to you first, man. What are your thoughts on this game? I'm interested.
My initial thoughts is there goes your smooth intro, Carlos. That was a nice little smooth intro for a moment.
I know.
Until
Dalan,
the glass elephants came up again.
Come on, Dalan. Come on, bro. We're trying to do something here, Dalan.
The elephant never forgets.
Right,
my thoughts on Modern Warfare 3, because I'm further into the campaign now. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. There's it's a divisive topic on the internet still. I haven't finished the game yet, but the things that I do enjoy about the game are what they've been doing well for years already, which is basically anything that's not one of those open-ended missions. Okay. Those open-ended missions are very hit or miss. The first one I did, which I believe is the very first mission you do in the game, they're just like, here, go into the world and figure it out. And you're like, oh, okay, let's see what this is all about.
Yeah.
But there was one later, and then it felt like they were almost kind of back to back sometimes, where you're like, oh, I don't know if I like that kind of situation. You want like the definitive scripted, like go to point A to point B and see some cool shit along the way. You know?
Which is what people have they've called these games corridor shooters, right? Like they're corridor shooters. You're going down like an event, but that's kind of what makes them exciting, right? Like so. Yeah. Oh well. Go. Anything else? Kind of because I'm kind of probably gonna go in a little bit.
But I've been getting into some sequences. I don't know if you're there yet, Carlos, and I don't know if Deo will play this in 3 years, so I won't say anything. But there's some cool stuff where I'm like, this is the cool shit that I know and love from Modern Warfare, where you're like running in a section and there's just like shit happening everywhere, and you're like, oh my god, this is crazy, right?
Yeah.
So there's some cool stuff like that. There's obviously the gameplay in general is pretty awesome. Yeah. And honestly, I think this is my favorite story of the Modern Warfare trilogy going on, because they kind of did it with the original Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3, where they had that kind of story thread going across them, but this to me seems much more like tight, compact, and like streamlined, where they have like these recurring characters that are from the first one, second one, and now they're in the third one. And there's just all these threads. You kind of actually have to pay attention and like, oh, that's the guy that fucked over that guy, and that's the girl that did this in that one mission, and there's a lot of things happening.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the story, it's fucking gnarly, man. It's crazy.
Look, you did say something good that we agree on. The combat is super buttery smooth, man. It's fucking Call of Duty, right? It's one of the smoothest shooters out there. But other than that, it just kind of pisses me off, man. It pisses me off that obviously this game started as DLC, and they even told us as much. And even as far as like you don't even get a platinum, which is fine. You guys know I like my trophies, but that's okay. But like it even gives you an insight into like this was started out as DLC, and I think we even talked about it. I don't know if it was last week or whenever it was. You can tell it was DLC because there's some really good parts. There's some really good scenarios. But as soon as you get into, they call them open combat missions. I'm like, get me the fuck out of here, man. I don't like this shit at all. It's basically they're putting you into Warzone. Like the very first level is it opens up and it's like
more like DMZ, but yeah, it's
DMZ. Similar. But it's like I've been on this map. Where have I been on this map? When we play with the buddies on a free to fucking play level. And it's like it's fine, but you can tell like the quality is not as good. Some of the character models are a little off. Besides those missions that are pretty nice, that are kind of corridor shootery, right? But other than that, it just pisses me off, man. It just pisses me off to be like, these people were right. And I know we also kind of have a little bit of skepticism, right, with the internet because they're about hyperbole and all this other stuff. But I'm like, they were right. They were right. This is definitely like, I understand. I appreciate that you kind of like the stories, but it's kind of trash, man. They're just like moving you along from one spot to the next. And it's like, all you're seeing is talking heads. You know, the few cutscenes you see are okay, but other than that, it's like talking. It's like, oh, you're gonna go here and go there. It's like, okay, well, here you go. Just drop me into another open world combat. 2 of the cool levels, though. I don't know if these are multiplayer maps, so I hope they're originals, but maybe they are. The apartment complex. Damn. Oh, I don't know. Oh, hopefully no spoilers.
The apartment complex when
it's fine. Go ahead.
Climbing the high rise.
Yes, that's kind of nice. That's kind of nice when you're getting kind of the feedback of like, okay, I'm on the 6th floor, and then if you go down, you're like, oh,
that was an open combat mission.
That was an open combat mission, and the mansion. I don't know if you were mentioning that, Luis. We'll go to you there in a second. But Luis, I don't know if there's like one where you're kind of raiding a mission. That's kind of cool. That's pretty cool, man.
Raiding a mission.
The mansion. My bad. Mansion. Before that, it's like a mission before the high rise.
That's also an open combat mission.
So
your 2 favorite ones are open combat, and
they're kind of cool. But don't put me in a multiplayer map, man. Don't put me in a multiplayer map that you're obviously like recycling assets, and there's a few cool scenes that were probably gonna be a part of the DLC. I'm still gonna play it. I'm still gonna beat it, but I'm gonna return the shit out of it. I will, unless you guys get serious, unless Prue gets serious about playing multiplayer, because we really haven't played it that much. Dale, please ask away, sir.
Like, sorry. Like, for how far you are in the game, would you say it's a good value? Like right now, is it too long? Is it like too short, or is pacing all weird for them?
It's. I mean, look, it's gonna be short. I think from what I understand, it's like a 4 or 5 hour like campaign, and like I said, the combat. It's Call of Duty. It's Call of Duty combat, but there's something that is just not. And I appreciate that people online were like, let's go back to 2011. Let's go back to 2007. Where like, look at these missions that they were making, and you don't get that. You don't really get that. You get these. Also, the open missions, the checkpointing is kind of off. Like I'm like sometimes I spend like 5, 6 minutes, 7 minutes in a mission, and I die. I'm like, oh, that's right. It's the open world mission. I get to start all over again. That's gonna be great. So those are play it, Deo. I guess, but it really. I understand what people are saying, that it feels like DLC kind of expanded, and I understand like even like the developers being frustrated and be like, we were supposed to not be spending days and nights and weekends on this, but here we are. We're pushing this out, and they did the best that they could. I think they did a decent job of with the limited time that they had, that they kind of splice all these things together and put them together to where it feels okay. Dalen?
Now, before Dalen, real quick,
okay,
Carlos,
cool, please.
I will say to Dale's question, I've been playing this for way more than 4 to 5 hours, and I don't know how people are beating it that quickly, and because I'm on like regular difficulty and I'm dying quite a bit. So.
Yeah, there you go. Were you gonna potentially pick it up, Dale? I guess.
I mean, I have to play through the first and second one in order to understand what's going on in the third one, right? So
yeah,
you okay?
Yeah. Or it's more rewarding if I do so.
I will say this:
you should play them. Yeah.
And I will say this: 1 and 2. How do you make the third game where the 1 and 2 people are not involved? They're not even there. Those characters are not there. It's Ghost and these other characters that are around. That I feel they do a disservice to Ghost and the rest of the gang to like. You guys really use these. You guys really use these guys, huh? For this, Dalen, what's your question, sir? But I like it, Luis. I like the. I like it. I like the screaming here.
I guess this game is built on the Scooby-Doo crew, but the question I actually had in this particular case is when it comes to that story. I know that. Kind of what Luis was saying in this particular case, I want to be able to get taken from point to point and have things happen around me, because that's why we play video games. I mean, you got God of War, that happens, things just happen around you. I mentioned Uncharted earlier. That's one of the great things about that game. Things just happen outside of your control, and you just have to deal with it. And that's part of what makes it fun to actually have that excellence. But do you really get that?
Dalen,
you do.
Say that's where I disagree.
Oh, snap.
That's where I disagree. I feel like they give you a bit of story, talking heads, and like, this is your mission. Make sure you do this, and then it's like they drop you into a multiplayer map and like, go walk around. Where's the objective?
I don't know why you keep saying that. Multiplayer. They haven't really used any of those maps at all. Those are all original.
You guys tell me the very first level.
I got you.
You tell me the very first level that was 100% original. The Warzone map. It was very Warzone-y to me.
Warzone.
The Gulag. You're in the Gulag.
It has that feel, but it is an original map. Yeah.
I'm gonna mediate right now. Y'all just need to make an extra episode of just hot take on this one game.
Yeah.
Well,
you guys are at opposing ends on this.
This actually makes me want to play the game now.
Well, yeah.
To answer his question though, Dalen, It is 50-50. I can understand Carlos's frustration with the open combat and all that because it is half open combat and like half original story. So you do get your fill of that like nice Call of Duty fluid corridor shooter style. This cool shit happens from point A to point Z. But then there are times where they just do drop you on a map and they're like, you need to go there, figure it out, and pick up weapons, whatever you want on the way. That's basically what it
is. And the open combat is basically kind of like an arena in a sense. Like you get dropped into an arena, and that's, I don't know. To me, it's not Call of Duty, you know. But I wanna hear your guys' thoughts. Actually, I do want to hear Deo and Dalan if you guys ever get around to it.
Well, for my second question, then I don't know if you guys did at all, but I'm pretty sure you did at least a little bit. Is that one of the things that Modern Warfare has generally built their fan base around is multiplayer? Did they really do anything that's exciting that makes you really want to actually keep and purchase this game and play with friends, unlike the previous
I'm a campaign person, but I'll defer to Luis all day on that one. From what I understand, the progression's a little slower, Luis, or do you get a sense of that?
If you played 1 and 2, it is a completely different game, honestly. Like the movement feels, they weren't lying when they said they struck a movement between the original Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 1 2019. It is it's very well balanced in the sense of like movement and all that. Weapon progression is, it is kind of shitty. That is shitty that you have to complete 3 daily missions to unlock some certain things. Because there's a lot of stuff hidden behind that, so you're gonna have to play every day and do the three objectives, which are pretty easy. You can finish them in half an hour.
Have you tried the cheese, Luis? The zombie cheese? There's like a zombie cheese, right? That
I have not. There is. I feel like they might have addressed it, but that only got you so far. That just gave you XP. Really, it didn't like.
It doesn't do the whole thing.
It wouldn't help you with unlocking certain things.
Yeah. Hey, if you could help me help you, Luis, I guess if we got to get the gang involved, otherwise this thing's getting sent back once I beat it. But
but I have if you guys
I play the game like every day
together.
That's true. That's
true.
But
what are you gonna do when you beat the campaign?
I play the multiplayer.
Well, he'll play
like
the
every
multiplayer.
day.
He'll play the multiplayer.
Yeah. He'll play like the main story.
No, he'll play the multiplayer, Dalan. But hey, look, I got a couple more levels, and I'm sure we'll talk about it next week.
We'll kind of get.
I like it though. I like it. Dalan, me and you played another game. I think you already beat it, so maybe we have some final thoughts on this, or Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Oh, actually, Luis, anything else before we move on to?
Mario Wonder's trash, apparently.
Okay, this is the other one.
No.
Now, Deo said it was a little not so great. Dale, the same old, kind of not so great. What we didn't hear your thoughts, then. We didn't hear your counters to Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
I've touched base on a lot of the Super Mario games that have come out. That includes new Super Mario Brothers, and I felt like that was worse than this. But for Mario Wonder, when you're first playing...
Look, last week, Deo KO'd me with the, this is a bad game, and now new Super Mario Brothers, Deo, come on, man. They brought the 2D Mario back. It wasn't so bad.
But, they brought it back in its own right, but Mario Wonder did a significantly better job at it. I know, Dale, you decided to say in the chat that it was trash, but it is honestly not. At first, you're fully
It's his opinion, Dalan. It's his opinion. He can think it's trash.
Yes, it is his opinion, and I'm directing his opinion right back at him. But when it comes to Mario Wonder, when you first start playing it, yes, the first couple of levels, you're like, what fever dream is this? But then as you're starting to play it, you realize they took a lot of elements from Super Mario World. And they actually did a great job of building these maps and the levels that you can actually go to. And the levels, there might be a lot of levels, but a lot of these levels you can beat in a minute or two if you really just.
There's new items, there's new ideas, right, that you haven't seen in a 2D plane, right? So it's kind of it would be like the sequel to Super Mario Brothers World, right? Like all the new stuff that you see in the game.
Yeah, it's like they took Super Mario World and they decided to say, hey, we're going to make another land, which this is basically Super Mario World 2 with new powers. No, you don't
that being said,
the
Dalan,
Tanuki or the Super Kit, but you got your elephant and you got, I can't even remember all the powers. They gave you the bubble flower. I like that. They actually did a great job with these things.
They give you the badges that you can customize. You can customize his jumps and all this other stuff, right? But I hope you agree, Dalan. The online multiplayer / multiplayer is trash.
The online multiplayer is trash. The game is much better if you're doing it locally or if you're just playing it one player.
Yeah, just single player.
And if that game had a platinum, I would have platinumed it.
Now, Dalan, I hope you can explain yourself. You did beat the game, but what did you do? You returned it back to GameFly. You didn't even keep it. You would think that for a game that's so great, you'd be like, I need to keep this as part of my library.
Nobody else here was playing it with me, and I don't go back and play Super Mario World every 3 days. And I fully did that game, but it's not one that I just say, hey, keep. But Mario Wonder, I'd say if you play that game, do everything. It's honestly a fun game.
You got all the flowers, all the fever dreams, all the purple coins, and all that stuff. That's what I'm working on, man. Super Mario RPG is like it should be in the mailbox, I think. So I got to get around to that. But I want to beat this game, and I want to get that's the fun, Dalan. It did take us a while though. That's why I think that's what I said to Deo last time. Is that I think we talked about it on the podcast, right? It's like, have we found the fun yet? And unfortunately, it takes like 3 worlds, right? There's only like 5 or 6, so
it took you like 2 worlds. By the 3rd world,
too long.
No. The first world, it's confusion. The second world, you're just like, man, I guess I'm gonna trudge through this. But by the time you hit the 3rd world, you're like, oh, I see what they did here. And then you got like 3 more worlds, boss, special world. They got extra directions that you can go to find special stages. It's honestly fun.
It's pretty good. Dalan, I'm gonna put you on the spot. You finished the game, you sent it back, you 100%ed. What would you give it on the We.com scale, Dalan?
On the We.com scale, are we speaking just a video game in general, or
Dalan,
Super Mario
just give
game?
us the score, bro. Just what's the score, man? You beat the game.
A score on that.
All right.
What's going on?
Slap the score. I'd actually give it somewhere between a 7.5 to 8.
What the hell? How can you say it's like incredible and it's innovative and it's
I would give it.
Come on. And that's what Dale would give it, and he doesn't.
No, the thing that takes away from the points is their multiplayer is not great.
Yeah,
their single player is the best thing about the game, but you sometimes want to play a Mario game with your family or friends, and unless you're doing it locally, which in today's age, online would be the best way to go about that. They ruined that entirely. So that definitely took away from
on all the fun you had,
I said
and all your fever dreams.
8. I would lean that more
and
towards
all your
8,
fever dreams and your favorite power up being the bubble and all the customizable little hats. Okay, Dalan, but don't be.
I'm saying it's a good game. I'm not saying it's a perfect game, but it's a near perfect game.
Okay. Dale, any thoughts? Have you been playing? Have you gone back to it, Dale, or no?
No, because I'm not having fun in it.
Because I'm just not doing it.
I respect that. Expression as he said that.
I respect that. Dale, I haven't.
You have sold me on it a little bit more, and I'm not gonna drop it like immediately. It's just there's so much other stuff that I want to get through, especially before the end of the year.
That's true.
I
just want you to give it a chance, Dale, to find
give
the
it a good
joy.
chance. It honestly is a good game.
Okay, 7.5. 7.5 over here. Okay, Dale. Look, I'll give you this. I haven't beaten the game, so it's not final, but I'd be up there, man. 8.5 for Mario Wonder. It'd be 8.5. It's nice, man. It's nice.
So 8.5 for him. I will solidify mine at 8 with that.
All of a sudden. Because
like I said, I was leaning more towards 8. I'll solidify it at
8. Okay. This is how it goes. People are like, what the fuck? This is how they come up with their scores? Yeah.
Yeah. We got to debate it. I hadn't debated it until right now. You put me on the spot for the score.
That's also fair. That's also true. Yeah, so just so you guys know, when I do the reviews, I kind of go back and forth too. I was like, okay, I wrote this. Okay, it feels like this. So you do contemplate. You need so my bad, Dalan. My bad. All right, so my bad. But okay. Dale, what have you been playing, sir? And then we'll get to Dalan's what's it been playing.
Yeah, all I've been playing right now is Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, the latest title in the Yakuza series. You did say earlier that Yakuza Infinite Wealth is going to be the longest game. This is definitely the shortest game I've ever played out of the entire series, which is good and bad. And I don't know, I like it. The problem is that it's the same Yakuza experience that's from like 1 all the way through 6. It's the same thing. You run through the same town, you do the same kind of things, but like
now
does that mean that it's taking a step back from what what's the last one that they did before Infinite? Like a Dragon?
Yeah. Do you feel it's a step back in a sense? Because I know that's an RPG, right? That's also like an RPG.
I would I'd probably compare it more towards Lost Judgment is closer to it. But story-wise, it's gonna get to that point that I'm gonna like start crying probably because I know like this character's very tragic background. It's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen. But in terms of like fighting and everything like that, it's kind of basic. It's very basic compared to the other titles. Like they don't have as much in depth as far as unlockable moves, or kind of like semi RPG elements, like unlocking a bigger health bar or heat moves or anything like that.
Do you get a sense
it sounds like their focus was story in this game?
Well,
mostly because it was meant to be a bridge from like a Dragon players from Like a Dragon 7 to this Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth game. So they're kind of like wrapping up some loopholes that were kind of opened up during that passage of time.
Now Dale, like, and maybe Luis disagrees on it, but as far as like, to me, like Modern Warfare 3 feels like a DLC kind of expanded. They used whatever time they had to expand on. This was supposedly a DLC too that was expanded.
Yeah.
Do you get that sense as like, this was obviously like an add-on or something like that where it's like they expanded on it? You get the sense of
definitely, it definitely is. Yeah, I would totally agree with that sentiment. But it's priced correctly. It's only $40
or free in asterisk
or
on Game Pass.
Play with Game Pass, so it's like a perfect kind of experience, like sit down experience for that situation. However, it's kind of not right unless if you haven't played the other games, because like a lot of
you pulled me off that ledge. You pulled me out. I was thinking about it because it's free, and I was like, I'm down. It's a short one too. Okay.
No. It would be so disjointed, and you're like, who the hell is this guy? Like, why is he fighting this guy? Why did this guy get stabbed over here? Why is he taking all this money from this drawer over here? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
What's the backstory to this drawer?
What's the backstory? Why is this guy pointing at his little pin on his shoulder? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, gotcha.
If you're like a brand new character, like, what is this orphanage they keep talking about? These children? It's just stupid.
What's going on here?
But like, but it's like years of all this like back history and story to Kiryu that it's like totally lost if you haven't played any.
So at the very least, maybe the combat, something's missing. You're saying it doesn't have all the moves that you would think it would have, but on a story sense, it's at least rewarding. I would say it's rewarding if you've been playing the games.
I mean, for any Yakuza game in general, like the narrative is. This is probably one of their stronger narratives. I would say Yakuza 4 and 5 are a little bit better, and maybe even 1. But that's the whole reason why I play these games, is because it's basically a Korean drama, just like I could play it. That's the only difference.
K-pop, but
and
Japanese.
I can beat up guys.
But Japanese.
Basically, that's all it is. There's just relations and dishonor and honor and like all this other stuff going on.
Yeah. It's cool to see, right? It's cool to see that it's a series that they've tried really hard in 05, way back in 05, to kind of make a the Yakuza one with all the English, like they put in the best foot forward, and people didn't necessarily pick it up in North America. Then it got big in Japan, and it's kind of building up a little bit more steam right here. So it's nice to see.
It's its own niche, and like I'm so happy that like ever since then, like Yakuza was more of like a very niche title. It wasn't meant to like compete with a lot of other open world games like GTA or anything like that. But culturally wise, it's important for like the Japanese people and people who enjoy Japanese culture.
And it's cool to see kind of like a full circle effect to like I always said like people were asking for Shenmue 3, and it was like, well, the successor is Yakuza, like just go play that. But it's funny. I don't know if you were on the podcast when we were talking about it, Dale, but we were talking about how the Yakuza Yu Suzuki was even like, what the series needs is like a Yakuza 0. Like that's what. It's funny. It's funny to see that, right? That the originator, I guess, of this kind of sort of
give us Shenmue 4 already. Come on, drop the Shenmue 4.
So anything else on that, Dale?
Other than that, I'm honestly just having a blast. If I were to rate on our scale right now the game, I'd probably give it a 7.5. Right now.
Why you get mad at my 7.5? See over man.
7.5 is a good score, and he gave us a full like, okay, these are the pros, these are the cons. You were like elated. You were like, the Fever Dream is amazing. Then you get the hat. Then you get this 7.5. That's what happened.
Like a Dragon isn't nominated for a Game of the Year, so I'm just saying, like Mario Wonder did.
And I feel like it deserves it. So far, I got a few one more world, but I feel like it deserves to be there. I don't know where it falls in line for me.
We'll see about that.
We'll see when I do the player vote. We'll see when I do the player vote.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if anyone did I step on anyone's line, or we're good to move ahead from like a Dragon Gaiden impressions. Okay. Dalan, what have you been playing, man? We'll end it on what you've been playing lately, sir.
So I've been meaning to play it for the longest time, and I just decided to actually just start up a file for NARAKA BLADEPOINT. I'm pretty sure you guys have actually seen it a couple of times. It very much reminds me of Guns Online from when we were back in high school, where you'd be able to run on walls and fight people close combat with swords. I thought it was called Swords Online, but apparently it was called Guns Online.
I'm trying to remember, man. I think those are like in the far recesses of my brain and memory. I'm feeling it poking out a little bit, but I can't quite place it, Dalan.
It was a huge thing that you could run along the wall, shoot people from a distance, and get up close and just slice them with a sword. And you guys are getting into a nice little sword battle, pick up shotguns and stuff like that. NARAKA BLADEPOINT.
Sounds terrible, man.
It's Monster Hunter against other players online, because you get like big old Chinese cannons that you can shoot at people. You get like all kinds of weapons that you can actually fight with. You get big swords, little swords, double swords, knives, crossbows.
Double swords,
they got weapons. But yeah, I get to say it. and this. And it's a battle royale. So it's weapons that you actually procure on the map after you've dropped in specific places you actually go to.
What platform is this, Dalan? What platform are you playing?
It's on PC, PS5, and I believe Xbox. I'm not sure. Okay. It is on Xbox. Okay, and I do also believe it's crossplay as well. Oh no, not believe. It is crossplay. I double checked. But so far, it actually seems like a really fun game. But it seems like it would be a little irritating to try and find other people on the map until it starts enclosing it.
Oh, it does. It does that too. It starts poisoning you.
It is a literal battle royale, my friend. You better procure all your stuff, know what you have, and go find some people to kill.
All right.
Doesn't it have verticality too? Like you get into the trees or something like that.
Yes, they have very good Assassin's Creed mechanics of going just climbing up and running up trees. You can find a whole bunch of grapple shots that you can use very regularly, like Halo. I know you love your Halo grapple shots, Carlos. So you can climb pretty much anything in this game as long as it has grip to it. But honestly, the game has been fun so far. I just need to do a couple of more matches to get a real feel for it. But just initial impressions, it looks excellent, and a whole bunch of customizations and weekly events that they actually have for the game. So if you want a new battle royale that's melee focused rather than gun focused, this is a very good option. So,
all right, there you go.
But separate from that, I beat Ghostrunner. I'm not sure if I platinumed it. I can't remember if I did, but I know I played the heck out of it until I beat it. And even though I felt it was repetitive at the beginning, they start to give you more and more stuff as the game goes on. They give you more and more enemies to really go up against. And like I said, it was Shinobi, but high-tech 2077, and I hold to that.
We did talk about it. We did talk about Shinobi last week.
I hold to that all the way through the end of the game. I was slightly disappointed in the last boss, kind of like I was with I can't remember the name of the other PS2 game that popped in my head, but scratch that PS2 game. But the game itself for Ghostrunner is fun, and I have actually already requested for Ghostrunner 2 because I like Ghostrunner that would run that much. Yeah. So for anybody who likes like first person, like fast pace,
I mean, just tell them, Dalan, it's a Mirror's Edge. It's a Mirror's Edge, modern day Mirror's Edge.
Mirror's Edge, but better.
Okay. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's Mirror's Edge, but better.
Okay, there you go. I gotta get around to this one.
One hit wonders. Just don't get hit.
Yeah, I gotta get around to this one. What else?
Then the last one is I did get Spider-Man 2, and I have played the heck out of this. They obviously shuffled around some of the canonical events of Peter Parker himself. This game is way more focused on Peter Parker than it is Miles Morales, so there's not a huge balance in that respect. But you can switch anytime from character to character. There's certain parts of the story where you have to be Peter or have to be Miles Morales, but most of this game really does focus more on Peter Parker himself, because they go through some really big stories, and I'm ready to see a Spider-Man 3 if they do not like complete these things. Like they did an excellent job.
You'll see a 3.
They did an excellent job the whole way through.
There's levels to this shit, man, and Spider-Man 2 is up there. It's up there. It's up there. I'm gonna get to it.
This might as well already be Game of the Year.
Okay, Dalan. Spoiler alert. Okay, Dalan, it's up there.
You know you loved it, Carl.
It's excellent. It's excellent. Did you? Are you playing it in graphical mode or whatever it is, or performance mode? I had to switch, man. I think I switched. I was trying to keep it on the biggest graphics, if you want to call it. I know those are not the technical words.
And I left it on fidelity, and it looks smooth the entire way to me. And I even turned on the 120 hertz.
The VRR, whatever that is.
Yeah, I turned.
You don't even have a 120 hertz TV, Dan. What are you doing?
It doesn't matter. It's still buttery smooth.
It doesn't matter. I'm calling to see it. Anything else, Dalan, before we kind of end the show there?
The thing, hey, turkey episode, because Thanksgiving is coming up. I'm going to say this out loud. You can say it's rude, but turkey episode, obviously I'm going to be having fun with my
This is why, you understand, this is why I don't put everything I'm thinking or I'm going to say, because they're like, oh, Carlos wrote this down. I was like, no, these are for me to, segue, Dalan, but...
What are you talking about?
He's blessing his family. Let him bless his family.
Oh, my bad. Okay, my bad. I just kind of... Go ahead, Dalan.
No, it's all right. You didn't take it away from me. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't have that feeling anymore. Carlos Macias, thank you for joining us on another podcast episode, Salient Points / what you've been playing. I'm the master of what again, Dalan?
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Rude. I was going to let you, man. I was going to Deo Blas. The King of Mid-Bay, thank you very much, sir. Hope you have a happy Thanksgiving over there.
Out there, guys.
For sure. Yeah, people get wild out these
Stay
days.
warm. That's what I should say.
I'm going to get to you, Dalan. Luis Mendez on the Wheels of Steel. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, sir. We be going to check out Celtics. It's on wax.
Sick.
Huh?
Pelicans.
Oh, Pelicans. Pelicans clip for somebody. Happy Thanksgiving, somebody. Somebody. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, sir. Okay, Dalan. Sorry, man. Dalan Kirkwood, up in the mountains. Happy Thanksgiving to you, to us as well, sir. You can finish us off, Dalan. Just what were you going to say, sir?
Everybody who's watching the episode, click, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, get notifications. Thank you very much for being here with us for Salient Points. See you next time.
Latest. All right, that was good.